Welcome to Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
Today we're going to talk about Wolverine, Enemy of the State. This is a Marvel Knights title that happened in the pages of your regularly scheduled Wolverine from Marvel Knights back in the day. This is written by Mark Millar with art by John Romita Jr.
Oh.
Inks by Klaus Janson. It's for all its purposes self-contained. The concept is that Wolverine is helping out an old family friend named Ichiro. And Ichiro is a chauffeur. And he works for this very rich Japanese tycoon type character. Ichiro is married and has a son. Their family is connected to Wolverine's dead wife from the Claremont Miller Wolverine story.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is that Wolverine got married and she died.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Okay.
In Japan.
In Japan.
Yeah.
Yes.
I read that book.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It was good.
We've never done it on this channel. We should, probably. But the context you need is that he was married to this cool Japanese woman and embraced their culture entirely. Mm-hmm. And it didn't end well because it never does.
Because it's Wolverine.
Ichiro's son plays with his billionaire boss's son. They both play baseball together.
Okay.
All right.
And
Did they go to the same school?
no.
All right.
But they both play.
They have a connection.
Yeah, they know each other. They
Yeah.
hang out.
Well, and so they're playing ball in the park, and the idea here is that Ichiro and the billionaire, when they're looking at their kids, you can barely tell them apart. And that's just what the kidnappers thought when they took Ichiro's son.
Uh-huh.
And the billionaire, he didn't help because he's a shit. Because he's
My son's
He's like,
fine.
well,
my son's fine.
they
and
wanted my son, but they didn't get him, so that sounds like
I'm
your problem.
absolutely not going to pay a ransom that they're asking
Right.
for in the millions of dollars. It ain't my kid.
Right.
And the police are like, you're poor. So then they called Wolverine.
Ah.
And Wolverine's like, why did you even bother talking to the police? Why didn't you
Yeah,
call me first?
Right. You should have known.
Yeah,
what was
that
gonna
I would
happen.
come.
You're connected to my dead wife.
Yeah. So Wolverine agrees to meet with the kidnappers and give them the ransom in this graveyard.
Okay.
He's got his huge duffel bags full of money.
Yep.
And the kidnappers who are there meet with him and they're like, see, we knew that the story about the boss not paying was bullshit. We knew if we just threatened to kill him or we would get our way.
What?
It was totally gonna work. It wasn't that no one's that callous. We knew the
Right.
boss would eventually pay up, even if it wasn't for his
Yeah,
kid.
I could just steal any kid and then call up any billionaire and tell them
well,
I'll
at least
kill
they have
the
a
kid.
connection together. There's at least some kind of relationship.
I stole a kid somewhere. You better pay me.
I mean, that's diabolical, but
That's messed up.
it's
man.
it's not the most solid business plan.
No.
So Wolverine is like, so where's the kid? And they're like, oh wow, I can't believe they sent an American. He's like, I'm not American, I'm Canadian. And they're like, same difference.
Whatever.
And that's when he snicks
know what
them
I
right
meant.
away.
Yeah. So then
You say all you want, but you leave Canada out of it.
Yeah, please. So then he hands over the money that he's like, you want a 10 million, right? They're like, yep. Open it up. It's full of laundry.
Yeah.
And then he slaughters them with his adamantium claws.
Yeah.
The second Wolverine shows up, you're not getting your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
sorry.
As soon as you said you didn't have the kid, it was like, oh, well, then you're going to die.
Right.
Because he definitely isn't bringing you money.
So Wolverine starts to kill him, and then a bunch of ninjas
Oh.
pop out from hidden areas all over the graveyard.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wolverine implies through his internal monologue that his senses are indicating that these ninjas are undead. These aren't alive ninjas. And he proves it by just slaughtering them endlessly and green goo coming out of them.
So it's the hands.
Yeah, there was never going to be an exchange. They were never going to.
Good thing I didn't
Accept
bring
the
money,
money.
because
It would be out $10 million and we wouldn't get the kid back. And so he's just wrecking these ninjas.
yeah,
And
it's awesome.
there's an unseen villain, and it's the main villain kind of this story,
Okay.
who is just hanging back, and they're like a gross looking, kind of grudge-esque looking dude.
Yeah, the long hair.
Well, it doesn't help that it's raining, so it's also wet.
Yes,
it's
and it's John Romita Jr., so they look inhuman. But this is the Gorgon, and the Gorgon is a mutant who is now the ruler of the hand, kind of, and the Gorgon has it out for Wolverine.
I can't hear you say Gorgon without thinking of the Bard.
Yes, the Gorgon. I remember talking to Tiffany about this, and she was like, "Oh, the Gorgon. Why is it a guy?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Because they didn't want it to be a girl."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, well, is it like a serpent creature?" No,
No.
Is it in any way connected to a Medusa?
kind of.
Does it turn you to stone?
Yes, Gorgon's mutant
okay.
ability, which whenever you look up the Gorgon or you like research into him, when they talk about his powers, especially in the comic, but also in like the wiki, they talk about the Gorgon's abilities, and it's like the Gorgon has a mutant ability that it can kill whoever it locks eyes with.
Ah.
And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Like, does that mean that now that I've got you, I can find you and kill you? Does that mean that like you die?
You just drop
Like
dead?
right away?
Yeah. It means,
What do I die of?
It means they turn to stone.
Oh.
But
Why don't you
that's-
say that?
That's the mutant power. The mutant power is related to your code name, which is the Gorgon.
Right. The mutant powers turn you to stone. Why would you
looking
describe
into
that
its
as...
eyes turns you to stone.
That's the
which,
mutant power.
Which would kill you.
Which also kills you.
So it kills you.
Yeah, and that's the thing I really want you to focus on. So anyway,
All I want to say is that Wolverine will limit your blood supply to the point where he hacks off limbs and you bleed out and you die.
Yeah.
But his mutant ability
Mutant ability is taking
to
blood.
lower your blood supply.
right, exactly.
He gives you very low blood pressure.
What? Oh, how so? Maybe I need Wolverine.
Well, by chopping off your limbs.
What?
So that your body can't maintain the blood flow.
It's an esoteric way to get there.
Yeah.
So Wolverine's just slaughtering ninjas, and then he finally finds the dude who he was parlaying with in the cemetery. He's like, "Ha ha! Okay, now tell me about the kid." And he's got him pressed up against this big gravestone.
He's got his hand up against his...
Against his
face,
temple. He's ready.
yeah.
He's ready to pop him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, here we go. If you don't tell me what I want to know, Mo, Larry, and Curly are going to come out to play." I'm like, "That's weak, but
That's
all
all
right."
right, yeah.
But he says, "Where's the kid?" And then the dude dies. And he's like, "What the hell?" And then he looks down, and there's a sword that went through Wolverine and through the guy in front of him and through the gravestone.
Oh.
And he's like, "This is crazy. Like, no one could no
How
one can
did someone
sneak
sneak
up
up
on
on
me.
me? Yeah.
And I didn't even notice the blade was in me."
That
And
is
then-
crazy.
And then Gorgon comes out, and he's like, "Let's do this." And Gorgon says, "You wanted to know about the boy. We fed him to the pigs."
Oh. Whoa.
And you're
Well,
like,
shit.
"Oh, shit." And then he busts out the blade, and you don't see Wolverine anymore.
Huh. Okay, so the kid's dead. They fed him to the pigs. Then what was the whole thing with the exchange, with the money and the setup of Wolverine?
Well, they still
All
wanted
a
the money.
setup.
It's a whole thing.
Just to get Wolverine.
to get Wolverine.
Yes.
Did they know Wolverine was hired?
Yeah.
So
That's why they picked Ichiro's
So
kid.
they didn't accidentally take
No,
his kid.
they assumed it was an accident because, the
He
kid
happened
is related to
look
the...
Oh,
it's
okay.
related to the rich kid, but no.
So they didn't actually want anything.
they wanted
They wanted
Wolverine.
Wolverine. They didn't actually want a ransom.
Yeah,
What if they never called Wolverine?
They were going to.
Because Ichiro was friends with Wolverine.
Ichiro's wife was
Wife
related.
was-
I think his wife was her cousin or something.
Okay.
In any case,
There was
they
a
were
connection,
related.
so
They're
they're like-
related.
They're going to get Wolverine.
Yeah. Well, especially once they get stonewalled by every legitimate means by
Right.
which we would, get our kid back.
Right.
Plus,
Including the police?
well, and we're like a clandestine evil assassin organization. Like the
Right.
police weren't going to help regardless.
Yeah.
'Cause we
And,
pressured them not to.
Right.
We've infiltrated the police and everything, so like we can control,
Probably,
we
or at the
control
very
everything.
least, they're like, we're good at hiding.
Yeah.
Like the police aren't going to find him even if they weren't corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
So then we cut to like a month later, and Nick Fury is investigating a slaughter at this church.
Damn.
He's talking to some beshrouded person who's clearly got like 10th level security. It's Elektra,
Okay.
from like Daredevil and stuff.
Right.
Well,
Well, she must know about the church slaughter because of Daredevil.
no, she's a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent now.
Oh.
Yep.
What?
What?
Don't worry, she won't be by the end of the book. But like, Elektra is working with S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
And she has like untold precedents to have access to Nick Fury and everything that's happening.
Okay.
And so basically, Elektra's like, yeah, I confirm all the dead people here it's Wolverine. Wolverine killed everyone in this church.
What?
Yeah. And
Okay.
and Nick Fury is like, well, the last time we heard of Wolverine, he was in Japan investigating like this kidnapping, and then he disappeared. He went off the grid.
Right.
And like,
And that doesn't happen with S.H.I.E.L.D.
No.
Right.
And, like, if I call Wolverine, he'll probably call me back.
Who are you trying to impress, Nick?
Yeah. And Fury reveals there's actually a list of 16 people that are targeted by some organization for assassination. And at the top of the list that they recovered before this whole massacre was Wolverine. So he's like, I think there's a connection here. And they wind up finding about Gorgon. You know, they reveal that, like...
Nick Fury knows who Gorgon is.
Well, Nick Fury found out that Gorgon was the one who attacked Wolverine.
Okay.
Like, they heard about it. And so he reveals who Gorgon is, and he explains, like, he's a ninja master, and he's a mutant, and he can kill you by looking at you.
He's got a lot of ways to kill you.
Yeah, he's a badass.
Sword, he can kill you by looking.
He's got a ninja army.
Gorgon is also the leader of some splinter organization called the Dawn of the White Light, which was made up for the story. And they are in league with the Hand and Hydra.
Oh,
and so Hydra and the Hand are sick of losing.
That kind of makes sense.
They team up. Fury and Elektra are, like, planning their, I don't know, recovery of Wolverine when they hear that they've spotted Wolverine in South America. So,
man, this book's all over the place.
It's a globe-hopping adventure. That's why it's called Enemy of the State. It should invoke that feeling of, like, a kind of spy, you know, espionage type story that goes all over the globe. Gosh. We don't go too far. But we've been to Japan.
We've been to Japan.
South America, New York City. So S.H.I.E.L.D. has a aircraft carrier.
Okay.
Not a helicarrier.
Regular.
Just a straight-up boat.
Carrier.
And they have recovered Wolverine, and he's in the medical bay of this aircraft carrier.
What? They already recovered him?
They've already recovered him. He was wrecked. Like, apparently he was in a state of near death. And it was so bad that it took him a while to get his healing factor to kick in.
Okay.
So he's in the recovery ward, and he's just kind of, like, getting his shit together. And he's strapped in. He's got all this stuff on him.
He's just healing.
And S.H.I.E.L.D. is also working to keep the church slaughter and any other related Wolverine slaughters on the down low. So nobody's, like, freaking out that Wolverine's just, like, on a rampage.
Right.
Because most of the people in the church, some of them were bad, but also some of them were just regular people.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Wolverine...
I assume the church slaughter just means, like...
It's just folk in a church.
Yeah.
Well, they were like mobsters and stuff
Some
there. It's like a mob church.
It was not. The end of the first chapter is basically that Wolverine is recovering, and you finally get into his head after, you know, the fight with the Gorgon, and it's him kind of, like, taking in everything and taking inventory of what's happening around him, and him at odds with another voice in his head, which is his own, that is telling him to murder the attending nurse. Who, there's a whole Move the Car George movement where, like, the nurse reveals that she had helped Wolverine earlier in, like, a story you haven't seen, where she tried to give him her number, and he slipped her the Fantastic Four's number, and because he didn't want to sleep with her, and she...
But Johnny will sleep with anything.
Right. I don't think he was wingmanning for Johnny Storm. I think he was just ducking them as a joke. So she tries to fuck Wolverine, basically. She's like, okay, like, I'm sure your dick's growing back. Let's do this. And then Wolverine just, like, pops his claws into her and kills her.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't...
Well...
Happens once in a while.
She was going to rape him, so...
I mean, no, I don't think... It wasn't really like that. It was more just... She knew he... I mean,
she was being suggestive
she was
toward
being
him.
big time.
She was being overt.
Overt, yes. Suggestive implies that she's, like, you know, being covert and subtle. No, she's like... Yeah, let's, you know, I've been waiting for an opportunity to get you in my hands. Like, you know, just a whole thing. She's ready to bang him.
It's very gross. He can't do anything.
Well, he's gonna get, like, he's getting better.
He's, like, strapped into this friggin', he's wrapped in bandages.
He's got feeding tubes, but it'll all grow back.
The point is it'll grow back and, like, she's gonna nurse him back to health.
Exactly.
And then once he's back in health, he's gonna repay the favor.
Yeah.
He'll owe her.
Right. So it is a little creepy.
But not worth dying
over, no.
All right,
so then,
something's messed up with Wolverine.
Yeah, so that triggers the alarm. Everyone's going nuts. Elektra's like, Wolverine's free. Time for me to dress like Elektra and fight him. And right behind her is Wolverine.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, ha.
And he's fine. He's got his costume on.
Yeah, he's ready to kick
like,
ass.
Suddenly bandages don't matter.
No, well, he's, you know,
he healed under those bandages.
Yeah.
Like, when no one was paying attention, he was, like, suddenly healed.
Right. He probably, like, threw them off the scent by, like, making it look worse than it really was. as I understand it, he kind of like put himself in a position to be wrecked and look like shit so that S.H.I.E.L.D. would recover him so that he could infiltrate and get at them.
Okay.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, so now Wolverine is just killing S.H.I.E.L.D. agents left and right, and Elektra's like twirling her size, ready to fight him. She's like, come on. Just waiting for him, letting all these men die.
I know.
Well, she is Elektra.
Throw wave after wave of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents at him.
Exactly, eventually
Or
gets
exhaust
tired.
him.
So, as he's killing these people, she's waiting for her opening, and she finds it, and she digs her size into like key points of his body that keep him from moving.
Okay.
And she's like, okay, I've got you. And she's trying to explain to him, like, your thoughts are not your own. You're being controlled by the Hand. I know. That's happened to me.
Right.
I've been an assassin for the Hand. They kill you. They resurrect you. You're under their control. That's how they work. So what happened was they killed Wolverine, and then they resurrected him using their hand magics, which I guess they must have done before his healing factor resurrected himself anyway.
Right.
We gotta fix that.
I was going to say, I didn't know he could die like that.
He can't. But let's pretend like he can. And so he did, and the Hand resurrected him. It's like, well, you know, if you just left me alone, I would have grown back. Yeah, but we resurrected you.
Yeah. Before you could grow back.
Yeah, right before.
Totally different.
Like, when does the healing factor resurrect Wolverine? At what point
Right.
is he dead
Right.
and then is being regenerated to the point of resurrection? You know what I mean? Like, it's almost
Yeah.
like he never dies.
At what point, when he's about to die, or is he dying, does he think to himself, Gene?
Well,
and then his resurrection
every
or
single
his healing
time.
factor kick in.
No doubt, every single time. So he's fighting with Elektra, and he's just kind of like waiting her out because the voice in his head is basically a dick. It's really like mean.
So it's not his voice.
It is his voice, but it's Hydra
meaner.
brainwash
Yeah.
Wolverine. So it knows everyone's weaknesses, and it's also saying things that he wouldn't necessarily mean that are influenced by Hydra. You know,
But-
so he's referring to Elektra as a traitor, so, which is very Hydra, and Wolverine wouldn't care less about whether
Right.
she was a betrayer of the Hand.
Right.
But because of, did I say Hydra before?
Yeah.
No. Elektra was a servant of the Hand.
Right.
And so, obviously, the voice in his head is referring to the betrayal from the Hand of Elektra, which Wolverine wouldn't care less about.
Right. But he's been indoctrinated to believe
So now he feels
he is one
connected
of them.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
All right.
now he's just waiting her out because she's like, what are you smiling about? And that's when the explosive that he planted on the boat goes off. And so now he uses that opportunity for Elektra to like pull the size out to kind of like steady herself to free himself and then fight her some more and wait for the water to come. And then the boat just gets flooded and all these people are dying.
And there's blood in the water.
And then,
And
the,
then
sharks
will
came.
come. Yes.
Thank you, the whiplash. But basically, Wolverine makes his escape.
Yeah.
He doesn't kill Elektra,
What was
though he
his-
did try.
What was his plan? Why did he want to get captured? Just to destroy this boat?
Was it to kill Elektra?
It was to access information and also, as we'll
Oh my
find out, he
God.
wants to deal with Elektra.
Okay.
But yeah, no, because there is blood in the water, there's a lot of blood.
There is a lot of
dead
blood,
people. And
and
Wolverine
so-
slashed them, so naturally the sharks,
The sharks
do come.
Oh my God.
They actually come.
And then Wolverine fights a great white shark.
Sweet.
It has to be a great white. Like, it can't be any
Oh,
other
yeah.
shark.
No shark would stand a chance except maybe a great
Like a
white.
bull shark, who
Nope.
is the most aggressive shark in
Or
the world.
Or a tiger shark, which is a man-eater and is a different kind of shark for these waters.
Not as
A
big,
what?
though, than...
Then Wolverine just uppercuts this shark. It's a pretty amazing looking
That's
image.
awesome.
He guts it.
He
runs it all the way up into its lower jaw. It's so cool looking.
It's too bad for this shark. It's Wolverine and not Morbius. It was Morbius.
He'd be
it
dead.
could have overwhelmed him.
Absolutely. Well, there are multiple sharks, and as we know, Morbius is not immune to a feeding frenzy.
So
Whoever's
Wolverine takes
left.
out an entire aircraft carrier by himself.
Yes.
I mean, Wolverine sets up an
That's not what
explosion.
he
Here's the
does.
thing.
Anyone who could do that.
It's not like Wolverine like goes to the bow of the ship and then just kills all the way to the stern. Like, he sets explosives, he sneak attacks them, he uses it as his advantage of being a superhero
Yeah.
to let their guard down. Like, he uses the skills that he does earn as a character
Right.
to destroy this aircraft carrier.
So Wolverine's the antagonist of this book.
yes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who the hell's our protagonist? Tell me it's not also Wolverine.
It's basically Elektra.
Okay.
So then,
So it's an Electro book.
more or less. But it happens in Wolverine. No, because it's about Wolverine. It's about his journey now that he's an evil Hydra hand agent.
All right.
So basically, Nick Fury reveals that everybody on the list is a target. And because Wolverine destroyed an aircraft carrier, he's probably going to kill everybody on the list. So we're going to need to work double time to protect everybody on that list. Oh, by the way, the President of the United States is also on that list.
Oh, jeez.
Of course.
Okay.
Is there another, like, do we have a copy of the list? Do we know who's on it?
Yeah, they're looking at it.
Yeah, like the Fantastic Four, specifically Reed Richards, Charles Xavier, Captain America, and a number of other characters that we'll get to. But the idea is that Enemy of the State is a excuse to watch Wolverine fight the Marvel Universe, but in continuity. So the Xavier Institute goes on full lockdown. And because they've got a bunch of kids in this school, they just stick them in like a secret bunker, and it's like surrounded by like wire, like laser grids and other mutants, and all of them are also on high alert. Like the X-Men are under major protection. The Fantastic Four are ordered to take all personnel and abandon the Baxter Building and only let Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben stay in the Baxter Building.
Wow, okay.
Because they know Wolverine is coming for the Fantastic Four.
Right, and we don't want anyone else in the way.
Because Wolverine clearly doesn't care, or the brainwashing doesn't care, about collateral damage.
Right.
So the Fantastic Four activates the shield, but Wolverine's already infiltrated the Baxter Building. So what follows is a fight where Wolverine fights the Fantastic Four.
Sure.
While he's infiltrating them, like he's doing recon, and of course this new Hydra hand White
Dawn
light power team, when they control Wolverine, they can also like see out his eyes. And they made a few special modifications on his person.
Oh.
So not only can we see what he sees, but we can also teleport him.
What?
Yeah.
They're teleporters?
They have
personal teleporters?
Yes.
That's a little OP.
A little bit.
Especially for Wolverine.
But he can only do it a couple times.
Ever?
I can't do it too much.
Well, then he's got to come back and they got to calibrate it or something.
Okay. Or charge it.
Yeah. They establish it so that there are stakes. So that it's not just like, why doesn't he teleport every time he does anything? Like, because he only have like 3 jumps.
He's about to be punched. He could teleport over there.
Yeah, why does he do that the entire time?
Yeah.
Like, because...
Why does he just teleport his claws into you?
Like, because when we send him out into the field, he only has a set number of jumps, and then we got to bring him back.
Fair enough.
And we need to leave one to bring him back, so that we can keep,
Yeah, send him somewhere else.
the program
So
going.
the final teleport is always the teleport home.
Yeah, that's right. He's Sam Beckett of Hydra Hand. So he's watching them. He's watching Johnny Storm like work on a car and like juggle 3 dates because he can't leave. And he's like, "Sorry, Rhonda," and you're like, "Whatever." And the
Yeah, I'm reading Fantastic Four. I'm reading Wolverine.
I mean, no, I want to see the Fantastic Four be the Fantastic Four in this book if you're going to cross them over. But they're like, why isn't he killing them? He's in the place. Why not kill him? What the fuck? And they're like, he's working.
He's got his methods.
He's figuring it out. Like
He put himself in like a near-death state
you
to be
want-
captured by S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right. If you want Wolverine to solve your problem, let Wolverine solve your problem.
He already killed an entire aircraft carrier full of people. Are you like worried that he's not loyal? Because I think he's clearly demonstrated
he killed
that
thousands of men, literally in one stroke.
I'm the tasker. My superhero ability is that I micromanage. It's all I can do.
I second guess everything that he does, even after he's already proven himself multiple times.
Right. And like you keep...
I'm the most annoying villain ever.
I mean, they are. I mean, it's Hydra we're talking about here, and the Hand. But we find out that Baron Strucker is involved from Hydra, of course, and he's teamed up with the Gorgon. And there's like a big infighting problem going on within Hydra, because at this point in Marvel chronology continuity, Hydra's a joke. The Hand's kind of passe. But like, we can do it. If anybody wants to write about Hydra, you can do anything you want. You want to bring the whole organization down. You want to build it all up. You want to make them super secret and super awesome. Like, fine.
Marvel doesn't give a shit.
We don't give a shit.
Hydra right now.
There's nothing on the playbook that says we got to do something with Hydra.
Because whatever you can do, we can undo if we have to.
Big time. Miller also has Reed Richards do this really freaking weird thing, and he has a move the card George moment in a previous issue where like the last guys to leave the Baxter building are talking about how they tried to talk to Reed. Because they're basically like, so we're getting like, what, 2 weeks paid vacation? Is that the idea? Like, where do we pick up our checks? And like, I tried to ask Richards about it, but like, he put himself into a ball and then submerged that ball into like a tank of liquid, and it made me throw up. Because he's so gross. And superheroes are freaks, and I hate them, and I work for them, and I like owe them my 401k. Like, you know, it's just
Weird.
Like, what the hell?
What?
Also, what the hell? Like, Reed Richards does this now, and
What is the purpose of this?
it's called the think tank. It's where Reed basically is like, I know that even if I were to use like an interdimensional teleporter to take myself to the negative zone, my family would still come and bother me. So like, I'm just going to physically alter my body so that I can't talk to anyone and submerge myself in some kind of like amniotic fluid and just think about shit.
That's weird.
Now that being said, it looks like he's just thinking in this tank. And Sue shows up and she's like, Reed.
It looks like he spent $50 million on a thinking tank of goo.
Right.
No, he spent $50 million so he could masturbate in peace.
Yes. He's in the ball.
There's a huge window. You can see what he's doing.
No,
He's
in
enclosed
the
in the
ball.
ball. You can't see in it.
Oh, his dick's inside
In the ball. Yeah. It's like when dogs lick themselves.
Yeah, he did
Look,
like one of these.
I could do
Yeah.
this for hours.
can
That's why I
see
need
it.
the amniotic fluid.
Yeah. What are you doing in that ball?
Thinking.
Don't come in.
So it's like, Reed, your biological child wants you to read a story. He's like, can't you see I'm busy, woman? You're like, oh, you're one of those. This is who you think the Fantastic Four are.
Yeah, yep.
Uh,
All right.
I see you're perfect to write Civil War. And, you know, so he's like, I've got an idea. You actually patch the kid through to me, and I'll read him a story through the thing. And she's like, why not just come out of the tank? He's like, because I'm not going to really read a story. I created like an artificial intelligence program that sounds like me that will read like any number of stories and answer any thousands of questions that a child might ask about said stories.
Oh,
so that I
thank
can
God
not have to actually do it.
Thank God I don't have to interact with my child.
Yeah, like what? But anyway, he's busy because he's actually not like there. He's mentally projecting himself into like a cyberspace virtual reality world along with Hank Pym and Tony Stark. And they're working on this big machine that's going to like terraform, you know, the Serengeti or whatever. The plan was, he's like, we could terraform the moon or Mars. And they're like, why don't we terraform the desert?
You know, where people
Right.
live.
Where people live.
So we don't have to get on a fucking spaceship to go there
Because
and
only
enjoy
we
it.
will enjoy it.
It's like, I don't understand.
Right.
Yeah, but it's the moon. That's way cooler.
Yeah, well, then we could send people to the moon. They can live there. Won't the Inhumans or the Watcher have a problem with that? The people who live there right now.
Plus, that would cost millions of dollars just to send them there, in addition to the millions you already spent terraforming it.
Right.
You can terraform the desert, and it'll be useful right now to people who don't have any money.
Right. Well, because no one technically owns the moon, I could start work on that right now. Whereas if I want to terraform Africa, I got to deal with warlords and governments and the UN, and like, fuck it. No way. So anyway, this is just a prelude to remind you that like these three characters are all going to be on the same team in Civil War, and that they're coming up with ideas to help the world, including 42, the secret prison that's in the negative zone. Like, we don't see that. We just see this terraforming machine.
All these smart people are working together to do crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
Yep.
in cyberspace.
Yeah, and it's in continuity, and so like when they all have other ideas, you're not like, what? It's like, no, I wrote that earlier.
Yeah, I established that. All right.
So then the alarm goes off and Reed's like, disconnect quick before Wolverine like jumps in here and kills you somehow. Like the point is, I don't want him to know about this, and I don't want anyone to figure it out. So like disconnect quick. So they all disconnect, and then like the Thing grabs Johnny's like beautiful car and throws it at the wall where they've noticed a perimeter breach. Try and get Wolverine. The Human Torch flames on, grabs Wolverine, starts like searing his wrists so that his claws can't come out.
Oh.
Wolverine wound up actually infiltrating their security system and activating his own like voice code to it because he's also a master hacker. And
Yeah,
so he
that's-
programmed the fire.
That's the Wolverine I know and love.
Well, they
Wolverine's
messed with his
Batman.
brain to make him able to do that.
That's true.
It's Hydra programmed.
You know what?
Exactly what they did.
They should have done it where it's like, we just installed another program in you.
Yeah.
Like more
Yeah.
technology.
No, they
that
did.
you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
hack
that's what
shit.
we downloaded. It's the Matrix. We downloaded hacking abilities in your brain.
That's how they kind of treat it.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Hydra. They got technology, whatever.
Yeah, but now that the Human Torch has heated up his claws, he pops his first appearance of the Hot Claws that would appear 10 years later. No, it's
Schnink.
just fun. So Wolverine is gonna kill Johnny, but then the Thing shows up and they fight all the way.
Hey, how's he
into,
gonna kill
the
Johnny? Can't he be in flame form? Isn't he like intangible?
No.
Oh no.
He's a dude on fire.
Oh.
Yeah,
'cause
he's not just fire.
He doesn't look like a man on fire when he's on fire. He looks like another he looks like an alien being.
Yes, and that's actually because the original Human Torch was a robot man who looked exactly the same, and Lee wanted to use that visual because it was so
I
fun
see.
looking.
But you're not meant to think that he's like becomes fire. He
No.
just has fire on the outside of it.
Exactly. That's why Johnny wears like a flame retardant, unstable molecule uniform, so
Okay.
that it doesn't flame up.
Gotcha.
So otherwise, he would have like a fire.
So he can be stabbed or shot
Oh,
or
absolutely.
anything.
Well, and he can be stabbed by adamantium. Like if he was stabbed by a knife, the knife might melt before it got to him, or a bullet might melt before it got to him. But like,
A bullet might melt before it got through the fire.
he's pretty hot.
The thin layer of fire.
It's pretty hot.
A bullet traveling at the speed of a bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to fire like a laser cannon or something to
Right.
get him.
Honestly, probably a bullet would take him down.
Yikes.
Clearly, claws can.
Yeah. We
But-
know adamantium is a risk because it's not going to melt before.
It reaches his
reaches
vital
his-
parts.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it'll never melt again.
Right.
That's true.
Or something.
Yeah, no, we've established that.
Okay.
So they fight, and it's cool to see the Thing and Wolverine like battle.
Yep.
Sue, the kids are asleep.
Yeah.
Sue triggers their security system to teleport her children 25 minutes into the future when emergency crews would have arrived
Oh.
to help them.
That's funny.
The kids amazed.
Pretty good.
I'm like, whoa. No. Now you've completely opened up a can of worms.
Only forward. Only forward.
Only okay. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can only go forward, it's not that bad.
That's not so bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like it's 20 minutes into the future.
It's like traveling at the speed of light.
Well, it's
Exactly, you
it's
can go in the
It's
future.
not a problem where it's like, oh, well, anytime anything bad happens, we'll just we'll just call the Fantastic Four and they'll send you 20 minutes into the past. Like, no. It's got to be the future. So that's fine. But I love that little like move. But the idea was that like the Hydra people were like, oh crap, like Sue Storm is the most powerful member of the Fantastic Four. Like she is the one to worry about. And you're like, okay,
Well, she could just create a bubble around Wolverine with no air in it, right?
yeah.
Just
She
do
doesn't
that
do
move.
that in this.
I
but-
mean, not only that, she could crush him with an
Yeah,
invisible
create a
bubble.
bubble and then just
yeah, exactly.
with it.
Yeah, I mean, he's got
Has
those
she ever done that?
to anyone.
Yeah.
Probably. And certainly to robots.
Yes. Okay.
So
yeah, I guess it'd be unethical to do that to a person or something.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's murder any way you slice it. So Wolverine is fighting the Thing, and the house security system attacks him. He's under siege by like little gadgets and gizmos and robots and stuff. That's when Richards shows up, and he's like this big tapestry of a man, and he like envelops Wolverine, and he's like, I keep moving and stretching to fit your claws,
Right.
so you can't stab me. And the Hydra guys like Baron Strucker are like, okay, he's fucked. We got to get him out of there.
Yeah.
So, and he signaled to us in his brain that he needs to get teleported. So let's give him one. And they're like, we can't because of the technology around him is so much more advanced than ours or whatever, we can only teleport him 60 feet. We can't take him home.
Oh.
We can only teleport him 10 minutes in the future.
No, it's physical, not,
Time-wise.
yeah. So Wolverine teleports out of Richards' body
Okay.
and into like another area of the Baxter building when he basically can't breathe anymore.
Oh.
And then Sue appears and she's like, I filled your lungs with my powers.
Oh.
You can't breathe.
That's another way I hadn't thought of that she could kill somebody.
Exactly. And she goes, and if you move again, I'll double the bubble in size and I'll explode your lungs. Like,
Oh, damn.
also, like, because I have invisibility powers, like, I can create, like, invisible fields, but, like, I can also make things invisible, like your optic nerves. now Wolverine's blind.
Huh?
And Wolverine basically blasts, like he just blindly berserker rages his way out the side of the building where a convenient Hydra hovercraft picks him up and he makes his escape.
That's garbage.
Oh, all right.
I love her too because she says, I don't care if you're sick or brainwashed, you attacked my family, it's over for you.
Yeah. Yep.
And you're like, that's pretty dope.
Yep.
So Wolverine jumps onto the hovercraft and tries to escape. Johnny's like, no! So he goes and chases after Wolverine.
Okay.
And
Now Reed can go back to his masturbation tank and ignoring his kids.
yeah. Well, now he's got a big gaping hole in most of his building. He's probably got to deal with that or send robots to do it. But Torch takes Wolverine into a gas station, which explodes. And then we cut to like the future where they are taking Johnny Storm away because he is wrecked.
Oh.
He is a physical being.
Right.
And the explosion just completely just melted him. Like he is near death. And so the ambulance takes him away.
Go figure.
And they're like,
So fire hurts him?
well, that's what the ambulance thinks until Wolverine's adamantium claws pop out of the full body cast that he was in. And he slaughters everyone in the ambulance and leaves. And, actually Johnny's just fine because it's just fire.
Yeah. Great. Okay.
And then the issue ends with them being like, bum, 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 Baron von Strucker's in charge. And you're like, yeah, he was in the last issue. What are you doing? Where's there a full issue?
A full page.
A full page where they were like, holy shit, it's Baron von Strucker. Now that being said, he does reveal that there is a secret bankroller for Hydra, and she's on her way. Who is that? Oh. It's actually Baron Strucker's secret wife, who is a new character we invented for this story, who is like...
It wasn't Wolverine's wife's sister.
No, it's
right?
not her. It's not Ichiro's wife, nor is it like Wolverine or something. Like, no, I'm really old and I have a lot of money. Like, no. Elsbeth von Strucker's ancient evil wife, who is also like kind of the secret bankroller of Hydra, so she's like the unofficial boss. And she's like powerful and influential, but not like she can shoot rays out of her fingertips or anything.
She's connected.
She's connected and also clearly has access to longevity. Because she's like really, really old.
Yeah.
According to Elektra, they say she's like 175 or something.
What?
Whatever. They're a connected evil supervillain organization. They probably have access to like the Infinity Formula or something.
All right.
The point being, she's also like gross, and people try to like curry her favor. You know, she's total Game of Thrones, pre-Game of Thrones.
Right. She's a power broker. Yeah.
And she likes to throw her weight around. Like, she's married to Von Strucker, but she's also like, you're an employee of mine. And I'm also going to, like, bang other dudes. And you're like, what?
But you're Methuselah.
But you know what? Like, dudes will bang me because they want my power and influence. And you're like, gross.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
Weird.
Yeah.
I gotta pop like 20 Viagra for that.
So, Wolverine attacked Stark Industries. He didn't get Stark because he wasn't there. But the cleanup crew says that Spider-Man was a casualty in the crossfire and he's dead.
What?
And you're like, I don't see him. No.
Why would he have been there?
But Sal, they
Because
said
it's
it.
New York. But they said he died. Well, we'll cut to it. It's a joke that Miller makes at the expense of a character. But the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents who were attending make a reference to the fact that like Wolverine killed his people. And then like a dog, like a stray dog walked by, and Wolverine took a minute, bent down, and then petted it. And they're like, what an asshole. Like he killed all his people, and then he took a minute to like be nice to a dog. What a dickbag. So then they go and find...
What is the point of this?
So Fury's like, show me Spider-Man. They open it up. They show him the body. And it's actually Hornet from The Slingers. There's this story arc in the 90s when Spider-Man was like... they wanted... There was a bounty out for Spider-Man. And so Spider-Man's like, I have to keep being Spider-Man, but every time I show up and be Spider-Man,
Someone attacks me.
someone attacks me and tries to collect on my bounty. So what he did was he created like 4 aliases and 4 separate costumes. One of them was Hornet, who can like fly. And it's a flight suit, but it's also like, I have my powers. So I just won't show you that I stick to walls. I'll just use the flight power of my suit and my extra strength and stuff. And like, there's another one that could web swing. And like, it was a stupid idea.
Well, especially because he can't fly, so that's not isolating one
No,
of his
but
powers.
the other three did that.
Okay.
And
They were all bug themed.
they were all bug themed
There
naturally,
was
and
a
they
strong one. There was a
like a jumping one,
a web one.
Yeah.
Maybe one with extra sensory.
Well, they don't. He can't really advertise those. But
No.
They all had that really. So,
Oh.
but Marvel liked the costumes so much. After that story arc was done, they like gave the costumes to different characters.
Someone took up the mantle of Hornet.
of all those characters.
Of all of them?
And they were a team called the Slingers.
What do you do? You just have a costume.
Right, but like some of us have powers. The point is,
I had a similar power to that, so
anyway,
my name was stupid, so I just took that.
They killed Hornet,
Hornet's dead now. You're not gonna see him anymore.
and you're like,
Why would anyone think that was Spider-Man?
I don't know.
Because it used to be.
Because Spider-Man was pretending to be Hornet, but nobody
he was
knew.
pretending to be.
Oh, people didn't know
They
that.
didn't like out them.
Oh, he didn't say like
I'm Spider-Man.
All right,
No.
I went through a phase where I took on 4 personalities.
If he didn't tell the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
what?
No, that's ridiculous.
It's totally ridiculous. Just a little in-continuity jab at these poor characters that somebody likes. But they're dead. And Nick Fury makes a point where he's like, poor little guy.
Oh my
people don't even
God.
get your name right.
Eh.
So Elektra like sets up shop in Manhattan.
Somehow she's wearing less clothing than her normal costume has.
Yeah,
Well, she's in her hotel room.
Yeah.
And she's working out. But she does decide, like, screw it, I'm going to go out and, like, get some air in my workout underwear
Bikini.
clothes in the snow.
Okay.
And so she's bouncing around, she's having a great time, and then she gets besieged by ninjas. And
Which, you know,
aren't
probably
really a
happens to
problem
her
for
every
her.
other day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she, you know, but she doesn't have her sword or anything. She's
Right.
You know, we're showing her half naked so that we can. I mean, like, it's not gratuitous.
Everything's been taken away from her.
Well, no, I'm saying
she
like
can fight without
she can fight
anything.
without. Yeah, like look at how versatile she is. Look
Yeah.
at how like resourceful she can be.
Right.
Yeah, but her feet are going to get really cold.
This is very true. There's nothing she can do about that. What she should do is take her top off and use each cup as like as a shoe. Then that wouldn't be gratuitous.
Right. No.
Well, then it would just be survival.
Yeah.
Perfect sense.
Well, I don't want to get frostbite on my feet.
No, that's reasonable. Anyway, so she kills all these guys, and she's like, "Oh, I figured out how we can catch Wolverine in my fight. Like, the
Well,
fight
I
made
was
me think
killing
about
these
it."
ninjas.
Yeah.
Or re-killing them.
She calls Fury. She's like, "I figured it out. Also, there's a bunch of dead ninjas over here."
You might want to clean this up.
Yeah.
Someone's going to find these.
Yeah, and according to everybody, they smell bad. So,
Do they smell bad now that they've been cut open?
yeah. Well,
And
they
I
smell
thought
worse
they smell bad on the
outside.
outside.
So then we find out through this emasculating sequence where Strucker is playing the piano and Elspeth is flirting with the Gorgon. And by the way, the Gorgon, he looks like a friggin' mummy creature, but he is like a person who can talk and stuff. It's not just like it's this beast they're controlling. Like he's just
Right.
he's a dude.
He's a dude.
But we
He's
find
a dude.
out,
He's got needs.
yeah, we
Yeah.
find out that this whole plan is Strucker's plan.
Okay.
And it's his last Hail Mary. If he fails, he's out of the organization.
He's not a Hydra?
Yeah.
They're like, you got to do something successful,
Right.
Strucker.
Because someone noticed that he's been around for like 50 years and he's never really won.
He never wins.
So he's like, okay, I'll use this big plan where I will catch Wolverine, use him to get me like secrets. Of course, Wolverine, like, not only did he kill those people on that aircraft carrier, he also hacked it and took secrets from S.H.I.E.L.D. and he hacked the information from the Baxter building as well. So like,
Did he hack the information from the church?
the church didn't really have much except for the good word. But he winds up getting more information, especially information about that terraformer that Reed Richards is working on.
Oh.
He did find out about it?
Yeah, he did.
But
Well,
Reed Richards had them disconnect. I don't understand.
Well.
disconnect. That'll totally work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't.
No, it didn't. Well, he had already been there.
You didn't see what I was doing on my ball, did you?
No, sir. I didn't see you sucking your own dick again.
Good.
Elspeth is like, I don't think it's going to work. Because it never works for you.
Right.
And you're a pathetic man. Now, and then she starts to leave, and he goes, "Oh, you're going to bed?" She goes, "Yes, but not with you. Be a dear and play this song. I like to listen to that kind of music when I'm banging people." And she's gonna go sleep with the Gorgon.
Ooh, but she can't look at him.
Look, it just says he can kill.
I just mean it's like really dangerous.
Yeah.
It might accidentally look at them.
Well, hopefully they don't have like a mirror in their bedroom.
She also has rules where you're not allowed to kiss.
Yeah.
Right.
So Cap and Falcon are in the book now, and they're taking out like Hydra cells. They're taking out like all these different organizations, and they find out that like from recon, Wolverine killed some people, but also he blew up a couple of banks, but then he saved this woman from being raped.
Okay.
And they're like, what the hell is this? And they're like, oh, that's Wolverine like trying to get out.
Right.
Which
He's
is why
in there
he petted
somewhere.
the dog?
Yeah, like that was an indication there's some of Wolverine still in there. And also the monologue where it's Wolverine being like, don't kill them, I'm sorry, and then they die. So, you got that going on.
Right.
But the superhero community has kind of been like put on lockdown. Where they're like, only select people are allowed to go out. And if they do, they have to have like a whole SHIELD escort.
Because Wolverine might attack them.
Yeah, in order to create, casualties for when Wolverine inevitably finds them and tries to kill them.
But then they're also like, we need to protect the president because the president's under threat of death.
Well, I know what we do. We just get all the superheroes, and we get the president and all these SHIELD agents in one building and in one room, and then we nuke it.
Right, exactly.
Well, it was a terrible plan. I don't know why I suggested that.
Why don't you just take all the superheroes who are on the list and make them the president's bodyguards?
That'd be really cool. So Wolverine triggers like an EMP in part of Manhattan.
Oh.
Hell's Kitchen, specifically.
All right. Where does he get an EMP?
From his resources. He's got infinite resources.
It's built in.
He goes to Hydra base. They give him one and give him what he wants.
Yeah, he opens up his calf, and then an EMP is in there. And it's...
Right, exactly. I mean, like, the reality is, like, nothing Wolverine uses is tech-based.
Right.
So we find
Hell's
out that...
Kitchen?
Yeah, well, they're sending the Hand to go and get Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
Because the Hand knows Matt Murdock is Daredevil, and Daredevil's battled the Hand, and Daredevil is a pretty big badass. SHIELD was really concerned with protecting the big guns, like Thor and Cap and stuff, but like...
And they didn't think twice about
Daredevil. And Matt's like, get the fuck out of my house, Logan. While that's happening, Elektra catches wind of this, and she's like, oh, shit. She, like, books it to Hell's Kitchen to protect Matt.
Okay.
And there's a big, cool fight between Daredevil and Wolverine and some hand ninjas, and Elektra's there to protect Matt. Like, she's the one who shoots Wolverine with a sniper rifle across the street.
Okay.
To get him off of Matt.
Did she have time to change?
Yes, she actually wears her Elektra costume.
Okay.
And then it turns out that we're playing another game. Like, Wolverine wanted to imply that Matt Murdock was like the most dangerous game. But it turns out that they knew, because Elektra was involved with Fury and everything, that attacking Matt would lure out Elektra, so they got Elektra.
Okay.
So then the Hand kills Elektra and resurrects her, and now they got Elektra.
What? So now they got Elektra and Wolverine
resurrected
and doing their bidding.
Exactly.
Jeez.
I know. It's way too effective.
Yeah. Is that the first time that she was killed? Okay.
No, they've done this before.
Yeah, okay.
And then we freed her.
They're doing the thing to Elektra that happens to Elektra.
We just got her back.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
oh, great.
The X-Men are like, trying to protect themselves and get, not let Wolverine in. Wolverine's, of course, already in.
Yeah, well, I already got in.
He grabs Rachel Summers, the time-displaced daughter of Cyclops and Jean Grey, and drags her into Cerebra and forces her to use her telepathic abilities to kill the president. Because everybody's in D.C.
Right.
protecting the president. And he's like, why would I do that? I'll just make the psychic do it.
Yeah.
I'll just steal the plot from X-Men.
Right, X-Men 2. X2, yeah.
X2, X-Men United.
Yeah.
But I'm going to use it against one person instead of like everybody.
Oh, you could use it to kill someone. Okay, cool.
Not a bad idea. Yeah.
All right.
So why does she do that? She's just like, yeah, I guess. I don't want to die, so I guess I'll kill the president.
Yeah.
And she just turns on
He's
Wolverine,
like, I'm going to kill everyone. I'm going to kill everyone in the school if you don't do it. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill I'm going to kill everybody.
Help!
No, if you scream, I'll kill you.
Why don't I use my mind to call for help?
Yeah, she's not very good at it.
But I'm going to use you for Cerebra. I know you're not very good at it.
How is she able to use it to kill the president if she can't even use it to go into someone's mind and say something?
The reality is she's luring him there.
Oh, I see.
So she puts on the helmet. She's ready to go. The Hydra version of Wolverine is talking about how hot she is because she kind of looks like Jean. And the other Wolverine's like, stop that. That's not me. Like, don't be creepy, me.
Right.
Oh, is that what I sound like? Oh, I got a problem.
Yeah, exactly. And then Rachel destroys the mechanism that Cerebro works from. And she's like, you forgot that I have telekinetic abilities as well. Like, I just took it apart. Now you can't do it. Like, and I knew how to do it because you plugged me into a machine that allows me to connect with anyone on the planet. And so I connected to Mr. Fantastic. And he told me how it worked. So I now dismantled it properly so we could put it back together. And now you're screwed. And she blasts him with some, like, Phoenix powers.
See, I thought it was going to be, like, she puts on Cerebra, and then she goes into Wolverine's mind.
And, like, cleans him up?
Yeah.
A way cleaner way to end the story, but that doesn't work that way.
How does she have Phoenix? I didn't know she had Phoenix powers. What? But the Phoenix is like an entity from space. It's not
it's
hereditary.
No, but it kind of is. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing that's like 30 years old. Like, Rachel's a whole thing.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, so she blasts him.
What, she's like the most powerful mutant on Earth then? She has access to the fucking Phoenix?
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that. All right.
So the Hydra guys are like, well, fuck, jump him, get him out of there.
Well, that didn't work.
Like, bring him. You know, he only has like 15 jumps. We can only move him like 60 feet per jump. So he just keeps, just keep jumping him. Just jump him as far as you can.
We'll Nightcrawler him up.
Yeah, because Rachel lured him to Cerebra, which is like far away. So like, you know, he's just got to jump through the building. He can't quite just leave.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So he's jumping around. People are trying to, like, the mutants are trying to catch him. And then Wolverine teleports to the Blackbird hangar bay.
Does he decide where he teleports?
Yeah, because they can read his mind and stuff.
Okay.
So he teleports to the hangar bay, and then he blasts the Blackbird through the floor of the mansion.
Oh.
Screaming, "Die, motherfuckers!" Which is the least Wolverine line.
Yeah, well, that's totally what he would say.
Yeah.
And the Blackbird could take it. It wouldn't.
It's a space-worthy ship.
Right. But even space-worthy ships have, like, limits.
It's a very powerful space-worthy ship.
So he blasts that ship, and it destroys the X-Mansion, and he plows into the forests of Westchester.
Oh my
and then the
God.
X-Men assemble, and they go out, and they try to get him. They scramble. And Wolverine... Oh, so the X-Men and the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, like, who are protecting them, all scramble. They just fan out into the forest.
How does this have any resolution?
They go
We're like
chasing
5
after
pages
that
away.
jet.
I know. So he's killing...
Quick, stop that jet! God, got it.
He blasts the jet, and it, like, hits all the trees.
Oh, it crashes.
And
okay.
I mean, it probably sustained a lot of damage going through an entire building.
Right, it went through the house, it went through the trees, and then it crashed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he fights some S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, murders some S.H.I.E.L.D. agents,
Yep.
and he fights the X-Men.
Like, why didn't the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents just like, you know what? We got all these mutants. I'm just going to let them try first.
Oh, shit, I dropped my gun. You guys go ahead, I'll go pick it up.
Only you adult mutants, though.
I think
the kids, you should probably stay over here and help me get my gun.
I can pull the muscle in my back.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay.
And they're like, okay, he's not going to be able to kill the president. Call the superheroes we sent, like Iron Man and Captain America, who are down in D.C., like, bring them up here.
Right. Everyone.
Yeah.
Got
Meanwhile, North Star, who is another mutant,
Yeah.
he's on the team, and
I
he's
remember
like,
North Star.
and he is like, this is bullshit. Like, why are we being careful with him?
Right.
And Kitty's like, because it's not his fault. He's like, what about all those S.H.I.E.L.D. agents he murdered? What about all those people in that church? Like, this isn't Wolverine. We gotta treat him like Magneto. We gotta kill this guy.
Yeah.
And she's like, ugh, like, I don't even know you. And that's when Wolverine jumps out, and she phases, and he's gonna stab Kitty, but she phased, so he stabs North Star and kills North Star.
Oh my! I wondered why North Star was in this book. I'm like, North Star?
So he could die.
Holy crap!
But Hydra does recover North Star and then turn him into an agent for them.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So North Star
How did they recover
was
him?
completely right.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Like, we should just kill him before he kills more people. Oh, he killed me!
Yes.
Oh, good. Kitty Pryde picked up a stick.
Yeah, and she hits him in the head with it.
She's like, no, North Star, we can't kill him. He's still in there. Whoa! Whoa, he almost got me. Good thing I could fit. Oh. Well, I still can't kill him.
Yeah.
I don't care how many people die.
Yeah.
Like,
Even you, North
that's
Star.
horrible. You have to stop him.
I know. So, like, Cyclops blasts the shit out of him.
Nice.
And he uses the last jump he's got to get, like, 60 feet away from them.
Uh-huh.
And he does. And when he arrives, Captain America's there, and he just shield slams the shit out of him.
Wow.
Ah!
Awesome.
So then S.H.I.E.L.D. recovers Wolverine. They, like, seal him up, and then they they deprogram him.
Yeah.
That's all they had to do.
Yeah.
I guess they've done it
They
before.
have done it before. They talk about how they could do it if they just had him for
If they could just get him.
Yeah.
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 That's
The
why
book
they
should be
needed
called-
the teleport power, because they needed him to be able to get out of any situation where S.H.I.E.L.D.
But
could.
he used the last teleporting.
Yeah.
The book should be called Get Wolverine.
Yeah.
Enemy of the State is cool, but I think Get Wolverine's a little better.
Yeah.
That's cool because we can keep it and use it for another story. But yeah, so anyway, Strucker failed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he did kill a lot of people, but none of the ones on the list.
We have this little like ceremony where Elsbeth is like, "So Strucker, you're out. Give
Yep.
me the special Hydra ring and
Is it a decoder ring?
practically." And so he's like, Gorgon, you can chop off his head. And so we imply that they kill
Oh.
Strucker and Gorgon's in charge with Elsbeth.
But they don't cut off his head.
I mean, like, maybe they do, or maybe it's a clone or a freaking robot. Who cares? The point is, like, they kill Baron von Strucker in this story.
Point is, you don't see his body, so no, they don't.
No, they don't.
The point is that Elsbeth now exists, so why do we need
also
Baron Strucker?
her,
Yeah.
And she's got Gorgon, so,
So Cap is talking to Fury, and he's just like, that was
Wow,
that was
that's messed up.
harrowing.
Yeah.
And Fury's like, yeah, but it wasn't a total loss. And Cap's like, why? He's like, because we just got our killing machine back. And you're like, what? And basically the idea is that like Wolverine is now going to go and get that new seemingly unstoppable organization of like Hydra,
Right.
the Hand, and the Dawn of the White Light.
Right, he's going to get revenge.
And get revenge on the Gorgon and everything.
Yeah. Okay, because I was going to say, like, wait, so Gorgon survived? Like,
Yeah,
Gorgon like,
gets
makes
away.
it through this? He just,
oh yeah, and so Wolverine goes to
fine?
like his he goes to Ichiro and his family, and he's like, "So I failed, and your kid's dead." And they're like, "Thanks. Get the hell out of here."
Well, that didn't. You didn't.
Yeah,
you
it's
didn't
been
accomplish
months,
anything.
man.
He did that, and he does that
I
at the
failed.
end.
Your kid's dead. Also, as a result of me trying,
help
I ended
you.
up killing like.
Thousands of people.
As
Yeah,
it turns out, though, it's like that's what's the whole plan.
Right.
They meant for this to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
so
not
your
really
kid
my
was like
bad.
collateral damage in a plot to get me.
Yeah,
But, if
So it is
makes you
my
feel any
fault.
better,
Your kid is dead.
totally my fault.
Your
it went
kid
from
was
being
very important.
Yeah,
Yeah, it went
your
from
kid
being a
was
tragic
instrumental.
accident where I was trying to assist to it being entirely because of me that he died.
right.
Sorry.
Yeah. So Wolverine like goes on a rampage to get Gorgon.
Yeah.
Which he does. Like,
Yeah,
and it's cool,
okay.
but like not as well remembered as the first half where he fights the superhero community.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like,
That's cool.
what about Elsbeth Strucker? Does he get her too?
Nah,
Well, she's got to be like the new big bad for Hydra for a while,
exactly.
right?
She's got to be behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So Wolverine fights the Gorgon, and it's a pretty fun scene because we see Gorgon display his powers. We see that he's like unstoppable. We kind of like
Does he turn Wolverine into stone?
No, well, because then Wolverine would die. See, so instead, what happens is we kind of bookend it in a graveyard where like Wolverine fights Gorgon in a graveyard,
Yeah.
and they're fighting, and Gorgon's got his sword, and he's just kicking the shit out of Wolverine. And then he's like, "Okay, now you're done," and he activates his Gorgon powers just when Wolverine snicked his adamantium claws and reflects the power back into Gorgon.
He uses a
and-
mirror
trick,
trick.
and so Gorgon becomes stone, and then
That's
Wolverine
cool.
shatters it with his claws.
Yeah. Sweet.
They still bring him back to life later in other stories, but
course
like
they
for all
do.
these purposes, Gorgon dies at the end of that story.
That's awesome.
It's pretty rad.
I would have preferred Gorgon trying to turn Wolverine to stone, and he keeps like staring at him, and he's like, he's turning to stone.
And then he just
Your healing factor just undoes it?
No,
Oh my
like
God.
you see his skin like cracking, but it keeps regenerating, and he's just
Right.
like slowly plodding towards him.
It'd
and
be
just
really.
stabs
I would
him.
love to see it where it's
That'd
like
be
he starts to
badass.
turn to stone, but his hand is still flesh, and he just he gets right up to his head, and he becomes a statue. He's like, "Gotcha," and then the claws pop out. That would have been fucking amazing.
I could see that.
That would be fucking sweet. That'd be amazing to do in a movie. Like that
Yes.
effect where he's just like the stone's forming, and he's like continuously breaking it and forming it, but it's like taking over. You
Yeah.
know, it's beating the healing factor.
And Gorgon's like, "You'll never beat me." He just stands there and it's like, "What?"
Snicked.
Oh, then he heals, right? Because
Yeah, and then he finishes healing.
That is-
more.
Wolverine.
that is cooler than the reflection.
Yeah.
The reflection is cool, but that's cooler. I was telling Tiffany about it. She's like, his claws are like mirrors.
Yeah. They're real shiny.
I'm like, yeah, they're really shiny. She goes, do they self-clean?
Yeah.
I'm like, sure.
Adamantium is self-cleaning.
Right. I mean, it's just,
no,
it's,
that,
it's,
like,
just it's so sharp.
it pops out
that,
of
like
his
dirt
skin.
can't stick
It's so
on it.
sharp and so smooth. It's
Yeah.
polished to a mirror finish. Dirt literally cannot cling to
Yeah,
it.
exactly. That's why he like cuts cake with it and also kills people. Because there's no cross-contamination.
It's an antimicrobial
it's so sharp.
surface.
Yeah.
It actually cuts between molecules.
Yeah. There you go. He can split atoms with his claws. Nuclear blast. Just whoo, kaboom. You know, that's almost a book. Like, that's almost a story where he's like, I've never tried to cut anything that thin before. Mushroom.
So stupid.
That's so dumb, I'm surprised they haven't done it.
Yeah, that's great.
So Wolverine Enemy of the State is, it's really more like a 12-part series, but the part everybody really remembers and likes is the
first
part where
6.
Wolverine becomes brainwashed and then isn't brainwashed anymore.
Right.
But I will say you should pick up the second volume where he kills everybody, because it's pretty dope. Also, North Star's like mad that Wolverine killed him, and he's like, how come you got to come back? You know, Wolverine, you know, they have a conversation. You know, and he's like, you know, they got you. I'm sorry, man. It's my fault. He's like, yeah, it is your fault. You're a dick.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you're okay. Well, they made me think and say things I didn't mean either. You must be. He's like, no, I mean everything I'm saying to you. You were a dick. You overrated. You killed me.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're
You got
North
caught,
Star.
and then you killed me.
Right.
It's entirely your fault.
Exactly. Sucks. I mean, contextually,
Yeah.
it's cool when you're reading it.
Yeah.
It sucks for Wolverine, I
Yeah.
guess, and
Yeah.
North Star.
Can Kitty Pryde walk through a laser grid?
She can phase through it. Yeah. Now that being said,
You can still see her though, right?
yeah, you
So
can
like,
see her.
if a laser is optic light, and she can block light from passing through her, even though if she's phasing,
Right.
how would that pass through her? Come on, Ethan. I need some science here.
Well, I mean, when she's phasing, you can
Sorry.
see her, but maybe the part of her that's phasing you can't see. You wouldn't know because it's going through a physical object.
That's true. As you notice that we don't have like her right leg, so like maybe we're not seeing that phase part yet.
You know,
I think
like,
that's
as
'cause it's in a wall.
As it's phasing, it's invisible, but only the part that's actively phasing is invisible. That would be
So
my-
if she
my
is
guess.
phasing with something, she is invisible.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that would make sense.
But that only that, but
Only the
she,
part
she
that's
doesn't do it all
phasing.
at once.
Exactly.
It's like-
So you can still see her.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't see an arm through a wall because you couldn't see inside the wall.
yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And in point of fact, she's probably invisible when going through that wall.
Yeah.
So it's not even really like a phasing power as much as it is a like intangibility power.
Yes, she becomes intangible. But
And if you
just,
aren't-
again, that piece of her. Because if she's phasing through a wall, I can still grab her arm,
Right.
even while the other part of her is intangible. She
And
doesn't
she-
go intangible all at the same time.
And she would also need to be able to put a foot down on the ground. Like if she was like, I'm going to face this, and just phased her entire body, she'd fall to the core of the earth.
Right. Yeah.
I
So,
mean,
Yeah.
you know,
she's phased like through solid objects before. Where,
Absolutely.
Like, if that was the case, she would be falling.
yes.
If gravity were.
Well, here's the
controlled.
thing. Like, I've seen her dive through objects, but she then becomes tangible when she lands. I've also seen her dive through things and then like keep going through floors of buildings.
Yeah.
So, you know, she could.
It's her power.
Yeah, that's
She
her
control-
power.
Okay.
She can
Yeah.
do it.
It's complete. She could be intangible for like a sliver of her body,
Right.
or an entire like half of her body,
Yeah.
or her whole body.
Now
she
that-
has complete control over,
over
how
every
much
element of her body and
is
what part
intangible.
can
And when
be
she's
phased.
intangible, she's completely intangible to everything, including light, including physical objects, everything. I mean, light's just another physical thing, right? It feels like it's different than like a wall or a leg, but it's not. I mean, it is different.
Well, it's not made of.
It's different,
It's not
but
made of
it's
atoms.
It's different because it's like waves, but it's also particles, which like physical hard objects are also particles. It's
Yeah.
all particles. So it's the particle nature of light is at play when she is phasing through.
So if she decided to make herself phase entirely, she would be invisible.
Yeah,
I'm guessing,
I think so.
you know, they should explore that in something. They should be like, she can also turn invisible. That's a byproduct of her phase power.
But again, like if she did, she'd fall through the ground. Like no, her
right.
feet would be
Well,
visible,
Yeah.
or her hands would be visible.
some-
and she phases her whole
Well,
body.
she could make just the layer of her feet that are up against the ground.
Yeah, so
Like-
the bottoms of her feet.
Yeah.
That sounds gross looking. But again,
Well, it's just
But it
skin.
does affect her clothes, so it would just be the soles of her shoes you would see.
Yeah. Yes.
So there you go.
That'd
That
be
means
cool.
if she phased with her clothing on, it would just fall off of her.
Yes, and in fact, they have explored that notion that sometimes, like, if she gets startled or she doesn't know, like, she could phase out of her clothes. At least I've seen Bendis do that in Ultimate Spider-Man. So like,
So her phase ability like extends to like a few like millimeters from her skin, but sometimes like if she doesn't control it.
yeah, she'll just phase through whatever she's wearing.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Like if she wore contact lenses, she'd phase out of her contact lenses and wouldn't be able to see, or she'd lose them within her own body. Maybe sounds like a horror
Maybe
show.
they're just inside her eye. They're a constant lens.
That sounds like.
Well, hopefully she doesn't have
Let's
contacts.
just say she has 20/20 vision and move on.